r/askreddit. Non-Americans of Reddit, what is the craziest rumor you heard about America that turned out to be true? Homeowners associations. What the fuck is up with that? We're all planting our FLOs this year, Margio. Shut up, Karen. That public transport is almost non-existent in many smaller towns, which makes it a necessity for teens to have their own cars. 100%. So if you want a job when you're 16, you better live walking distance to your job or have your parents get you a used car of sorts. They have garbage disposals in their kitchens. That's just so wild to me. I remember when I was younger seeing something on an American Sycamore movie, I forget, about cheese that came in some kind of spray can or a squeezy tube, and I remember thinking it was a joke. You buy easy cheese when you're a kid and eat it on Ritz crackers. Then you turn 10 and you never eat it again. You want to, then you remember how ridiculous it is, then you don't. Not mine, but my mother heard about hot dog eating contests and thought it was just a joke. Then after the 2018 Eurovision, a full-blown documentary about hot dog eating contests came on, and she was in pure shock, especially by the way they eat them. They're pretty inclusive too. There was this Japanese guy they were following. Apparently he was a professional. That there are security guards, or cops, in the school's halls, and some even have metal detectors at the entrance like the TSA at airports. It's so useless. They check 1 out of every 20 students that walk through the door in the mornings, and my high school has around 5k students, and there's other entrances that don't have security. Yep. Hasn't really affected school shootings though, just like how the TSA routinely fails to actually detect prohibited items in drills. One positive thing I've noticed, foreigners love how big Halloween is here. Injured people try to avoid getting ambulances called for them. Absolutely, I'm an American, and I have insurance, but it's terrible. I'd call an Uber and go to the hospital if there was no way to avoid going to the hospital. But I'd have to have a broken bone or something serious to go. You can see into the public toilet cubicles. Female here. I've been in bathrooms where the gap between the stall and door is so big I felt the need to cover it with my purse just to get some privacy. The absolute worst is when some mother brings her grubby-handed son on the bathroom and you see a fucking 8-year-old's eye staring at you from the other side of the door. That they're not allowed to just cross the road wherever it's safe. Jaywalking is the term, I think. It's rare to get prosecuted for it because it's a lot of paperwork for the cop. I think it's more commonly used as an excuse to arrest someone and then search them. That the prices on their products are without tax and you get the tax when you pay. Like here the tax is already like in the price. If it costs €1 you pay €1. Literally anything about what goes on in Florida. How much people smoke weed, UK here. Yeah, it's much more normal here now. I live in an illegal state and it's still everywhere thanks to the cooler legal states. There isn't much of a negative stigma around it now either. The extent of the tipping culture is frankly shocking to me. My dad's girlfriend is a bartender, and she relies on tips to have a good pay. On a good day she will walk out with $200 in tips. My best friend is a waitress who also depends on tips for a good wage. She has clocked out with upwards of $300 on a good night, usually after football games. If our home team wins, a bunch of people will usually go to the restaurant she works at to celebrate with dinner. It's close to the school and really good. That Hawaiians really like Spam. Yeah, and there's a perfectly good reason for it too. After Pearl Harbor, the effects of World War II started in the US, and rationing became a thing. Well, it turns out that it's kind of hard to get fresh rations to an island that imports a lot. So, for meat, they had to make do with Spam. Human ingenuity prevails, and dishes were made, and that's how Hawaii learned to love Spam. Can you really buy a gun at Walmart? We have Walmart here in Canada. But I've always wondered if you can really buy one just like that in the States. At my local Walmart you can bring your car in for an oil change, get an eye exam, get a haircut, eat lunch at the in-store Subway, purchase a gun, purchase groceries, purchase a freaking couch, and then go home once the background check for the gun is finished and the oil change is done. Edit yes, I get it. You don't need a background check for an oil change. I could have worded that better. As a Brit living in America, the amount of pharmaceutical commercials on TV is creepy. We agree. It's really unsettling. Also, I'm sick of Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers showing up to tell me about insurance. Not really crazy, but I just learned you guys have like outdoor sirens that get tested somewhat frequently. I've only heard those noises in video games and movies until my friend sent me a clip because I had no idea it actually happened. Edit. I'm in Canada, Southern Ontario. In the Midwest there are tornadoes. Yep. In some places they test the sirens weekly. In my hometown they are tested at 1 PM on the first Saturday of the month. Sirens save lives in bad storms. That your country is huge. I got off the plane and asked the cab guy how far the hotel was, and he said about 30 miles. I almost had a heart attack. Turns out cabs are cheaper than the UK. I can't remember the price I paid, but I was pleasantly surprised. The UK cabs are like £4 per mile. Also, you would get laughed at the taxi for asking to go 30 miles and not taking the train. When you sail west you arrive in America, not India. Found Christopher Columbus's account. Just reading through these comments and going yup, you-ha, that's true, yep. The comments about US healthcare and colleges make me sad.